God, it's Friday. Monday's a brand new start. Wednesday, you're halfway home, and Thursday, the weekend's not far. Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday? Nothing, not a damn thing. Tuesday bites, Tuesday sucks, Tuesday blows, go away. Tuesday's crap, Tuesday's lame, Tuesday's dumb, go away. Tuesday, Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. But what can you say about Tuesday? Nothing.
Feels like a Monday.
What a wet and wild holiday weekend for everybody.
Yeah, more rain likely today in our area. Not too much, but it is in the forecast, so be wary of that. But then sunshine looks like tomorrow and Thursday before more rain moving in on Friday night into the weekend. So
Plus a little chilly for this time of year. Unseasonably cool.
67 today, but in the mid-70s tomorrow and the rest of the week, not too bad. Yeah, so it's Tuesday. We'll let you know what's new on New Release Tuesday. We will, of course, talk to Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom. Bad news, happy music, the friggin' sports. We'll recap our long Memorial Day weekend. We want to hear from you as well. Let us know what you did this weekend. Find us online at rockmornings.com. You can get all of our contact information there. You can listen to the show live at rockmornings.com. You can also check out our daily podcast on there as well.
Lots of high school graduations and ceremonies and celebrations throughout the entire state.
Yeah, no doubt. Also, a couple of tornadoes touching down last night. I know it got wild for a little while here. Not as crazy as it was last week, but it did get a little windy in the afternoon yesterday, and I know that, what was it, out by Janesville, I believe, they got some tornadoes at touchdown. So we'll find out more about that from Shaw in just a couple of minutes. We'll also get to some Des Rocks and some Scorpions.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian Jean and Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom for our first three-way. What's going on?
Police have now released the name of a man who died in a crash in Trempealeau County on Saturday. An SUV collided with a semi. Witnesses say that semi was parked on the shoulder after suffering a flat tire. The SUV collided with the stalled semi on I-94 near Osseo. The driver of the SUV, 39-year-old Premislaw Kania of Chicago, was killed in the crash. The driver of the semi was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. If you haven't had a chance to talk with La Crosse school board members about an upcoming referendum, there's another opportunity. Tonight, Logan High School will host the next engagement meeting starting at 6 p.m. Two meetings about a $53 million capital plan were held last week. Another virtual discussion is set in early June. We're told more roundtable meetings will be held through the summer and fall before the November election, which will propose school consolidations and some new construction. The summer travel season in Wisconsin is kicked off by Governor Tony Evers with visits to La Crosse and Green Bay. The governor went to the La Crosse Amtrak depot to help welcome the new Borealis train to the area. But before that, Evers went to the Sweet Shop on Caledonia Street for an ice cream cone, doing his part to support tourism spending at small businesses.
You know, we think of the big things like the Packers, the Brewers, and sporting events. But at the end of the day, the people that are going to make a city strong are places like this.
The governor says 100,000 jobs in Wisconsin are connected to tourism, which brings $23 billion a year into the state's economy. Speaking of tourism, America's tallest water slide is now open in the Wisconsin Dells. The Rise of Icarus, standing 145 feet tall, opened on Friday at Mount Olympus Water Park. That park is also adding a new kiddie play area that will feature smaller water slides and a wading pool. Craig Counsell's first game at American Family Field since the Chicago Cubs hired him away from Milwaukee.
They booed his ass.
They did. It included a warm
boo his ass?
Of course they did.
message, but also several hearty rounds of booze.
Yeah.
A brief pregame video showcased some highlights from Counsell's tenure as Milwaukee's manager before displaying him wearing a Brewers cap alongside the message, "Thank you, number 30. Brewers fans booed throughout the video and then booed again when he was introduced as the Cubs manager.
Hell yeah. That's how you do it.
He had a big smile on his face. He knew it was coming.
Of course. I mean, the Brewers have to do the video, right? Yes. They have to, They don't get down in the gutter with the whole, booing and all that stuff. So they make the video and they let the fans handle the rest of it. And they took care of it.
And they did. They let him know.
And they got the win, late in the game. It was 0-0 going into the ninth, I think, right?
Yeah, 8th or 9th inning, and then the Brewers exploded for 5 runs and captured the win.
How was your Memorial Day weekend, Shaw? What'd you do? Anything spectacular?
Tried to dodge the raindrops for much of it, but...
Are we getting more today here in the La Crosse area?
There's some showers and the possibility of a thunderstorm. It's going to be light, but yeah, we're going to see some probably.
Okay. And is that all day or just in the afternoon or the morning?
It looks like before mid to late afternoon is when we're expecting to see the rain. Should be drying out tonight.
Yeah, it rained on a lot of campers and people trying to celebrate, trying to get out on the water.
Over the weekend.
Graduation parties all over throughout the state that were affected, and hopefully had arrangements for it. Also, super buggy. Okay,
yes, the bugs have been terrible.
Oh my God!
We walked over to our neighbor's house last night after we came in from being out on the patio and saw them out in their front yard. So we walked over to say hi and chew the fat a little bit. And they took us around the back to show us some of their stuff, their improvements that they made this year in their backyard. And boy, I was like, you got to get a gnat screen because it is bad back here. And they're like, yeah, it's terrible. And I was like, I mean, it's nice, but man,
it's hard to spend time when it's that buggy.
Did a little grilling out on Sunday. Had the in-laws over, ate some meat, some grilled meat. It was delish. In the rain, it was. I'm running out there, and there was no good time to do it, and I wasn't going to put all that meat in the stove. So, but I managed to get it all cooked properly, Shaw, even in the rain.
Well done.
That was nice. How about you? Did you grill something? What'd you grill?
Yeah, we grilled some hot dogs, and Mary made deviled eggs for dinner last night.
Yeah, the Shaw standard for Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, very nice. Went for a little Harley ride yesterday as well. Got out on the bike for a little bit. It was very nice. I found out that apparently my wife does not open her eyes when we go on a Harley ride.
Is that right? The whole time?
So we dumped the bike. I had a Road King for 3 years, but I got rid of it back in 2022 when I upgraded to my Limited. And we were in the parking lot. It was November and a couple of years ago, and it was in the low 50s in November, and I was like, let's go out on the Harley, right? We don't get too many days like this late in the season, and I keep it stored in my garage during the winter months, so I always have access to it if I want to jump on it real quick. So we get on the Harley, we go for a little ride, and we're just tooling around town. This is on the Road King several years ago. We're in a parking lot of Festival Foods, and I have the right of way. I don't have a stop sign. I'm going straight. There's a woman sitting there with her blinker on, like she's going to turn right and go past me, right, in the opposite direction. And she's at a stop sign on my left. And I'm doing like 5 miles an hour here, right?
Lot speed, right?
And so, so we're going through the parking lot, and she pulls out halfway into I am looking directly at her, like I am staring at her because I know, she's obviously trying to turn, and I'm like, look, I'm a motorcycle. I know it's late in the season, all that stuff, but it's the middle of the day, and I'm thinking if I stare at her, maybe she'll stare at me, and then
It'll be good. We'll know. We'll have eye contact.
She pulls out in front of me, of course, and I leaned to the right to try to get around her. My wife also leaned, and then the bike went down, and there was not much I could do at that point. But we were fine. The bike had minor damage, whatever. Everything, a couple of bumps and bruises. But anyways.
Ever since
then, my wife's been very hesitant to not only get on the bike, but also apparently does not open her eyes when we ride. Because yesterday we stopped, and we stopped and had a bite to eat and a drink, and I said, oh, it's really, it was kind of the first time that we'd been out on the bike this year.
The gorgeous views over there.
And she's like, I'll be honest, I don't know if my eyes will when we're on the bike. I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I'm very, and I said, really? And I feel bad. And it's not because of me. It's obviously she's very concerned about other drivers, but I found that out yesterday, Shaw, so that's nice.
That's almost scarier to be riding with your eyes closed.
Well, that's what I said. I was like...
Don't you want to see where we're going or what's happening? Or
Nope. Some beautiful views through the region, right?
Yeah, look over there.
Look at the sky and the birds and everything else. The river. None of that, Shaw. Not interested.
No.
Does Mary ever go on the back of the scooter, you guys, the two of you?
One time when I first got it, and
that's
that was enough.
That was enough for her? Yep. She has no interest in...
Nope.
Okay.
None.
All right. Yeah, so that was kind of my weekend. Did some cleaning in the house, obviously, with all the rain and everything. Getting ready to go on vacation next week, so we're starting to, itemize and figure out what that's going to look like and get everything ready for the animals and all that crap. And Jean had a big birthday bash over at her house last night.
Yeah, we had a birthday. Grace's birthday is always this weekend. And so it's Do you remember the Summer of George in Seinfeld?
Yeah.
It's the week of grace at our house. We are we discussed and we predetermined every meal this week.
All her favorites.
It's all her favorites. So
I like the story you told me on Friday about you guys were planning on grilling out for Memorial Day.
And she had none of that, Josh. She wanted tater tot casserole because it's her very favorite on her birthday, so we had tater tot casserole. It started on Sunday night, right? Because today's Tuesday. It's Sunday night with lasagna. So every night it's the week of
pasta
grace.
Then, huh?
All right.
Good for her for milking it, though. Get a week's worth of celebration.
The week of grace.
You got to do it now because once you get into your 20s and 30s, nobody gives a rat's ass about your birthday.
Nobody cares.
No. It's like, you lived. Yay. Good for you. Here's a card. Take care of your own damn dinner. How about that? We've got some Scorpions coming up after Des Rocks. I am the Lightning.
Rock mornings. On air, online, on the app.
This past summer when I had my 31st operation.
See, that's what, on your feet?
On my feet,
That's
most
what I
of
was
them,
talking
most
about.
of them.
That's crazy, isn't it?
When I was lying in the hospital bed, and it's a very serious major operation, 6 months of just laying down there. And my second son, Nathan, was 24 years old. He came over and sat on the edge of the bed, and he said, "Dad, it's been a long, hard road for you. What are you going to do when your foot finally gets better? What are you going to do when you get up out of this bed?" I said, "Nathan, I am never going to sit down again." So now that we're here in the playoffs, the basketball game has been my life.
The late, great Bill Walton, who passed away at the age of 70 after a prolonged battle with cancer, talking about his 31 different foot surgeries. His career cut short because of all of his foot issues, but hell of a career for as short as it was. Led the UCLA Bruins to 2 national titles before he won 2 championships during his NBA career. Died on Monday at the age of 71, surrounded by his friends, family, and loved ones. Bill Walton dead at 71.
Take a bite out of it while it's lit.
While it's lit?
I'm kidding.
Had a birthday cupcake with a candle lit on top of it and put the whole damn thing in his mouth.
Gosh.
Candle and all.
What?
Yeah. Very interesting cat. He played for the Celtics, obviously, in the 80s when I was a kid, and yeah, he was a different kind of cat, man. Loved the Grateful Dead, loved life, was just a honest and well-liked individual. Brewers took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox over the weekend. They finished their 9-game road trip, however, with a losing record, 4-5. They did beat the Cubs at home yesterday, 5-1, and they're at home against the Cubbies tonight again at 6:40. NBA last night, the Celtics completing the sweep of the Pacers with a 105-102 win.
That's it.
The Celtics now move on to the NBA Finals, where they await the winner of the Mavs T-Wolves series, which could end tonight. Minnesota is at Dallas, Game 4, 7:30 on TNT. The Mavericks can eliminate the T-Wolves with a win. Going to be tough. NHL last night, Dallas over Edmonton, 5-3. They take a 2-1 series lead there. And tonight in the NHL, New York at Florida, Game 4 of that series at 7 o'clock on ESPN with the Rangers up 2-1. Joseph Newgarden on Sunday became the first back-to-back winner of the Indy 500 since Helio Castroneves did it 22 years ago. Gave Roger Penske a record-extending 20th win in the biggest race in the world. The Tennessean won a final lap duel with Pato O'Ward, who dropped a big old F-bomb right on national TV. Oh, yeah, it was great. Yeah, we watched most of the race, which was obviously delayed by the rain, and then we got the race in before more rain came through the area. But yeah, Pato O'Ward, who has improved every single year and had a chance there at the end, got passed by Joseph Newgarden on the last lap, and afterwards he was just kind of slumped over the windshield of his car for quite a while as people came by and patted him on the back. Newgarden, of course, ran into the crowd, was all over the place taking selfies and grabbing people's flags and going nuts. And it was a wild scene, but then afterwards they interviewed Pato O'Ward, and you could tell he'd been crying and was very upset and dropped a big old F-bomb on NBC. And they kept going with the interview, which was kind of neat. They didn't stop. But speaking of the Indy 500 and the NASCAR race afterwards, Kyle Larson was trying to get the double. He didn't get it done. Of course, with the rain delay at Indy, he wasn't able to get to the NASCAR race in time for it to start. So he was going to show up and take over for the guy that was in his car, Al Geyer. But when he showed up, the race had been put on caution it had been red flag for a rain delay, and then it never picked up again. So he didn't even get into his NASCAR ride. Christopher Bell got the win there on the rain shortened race on Sunday. But wild weekend, man. Wild weekend. Lots going on. Hockey, basketball, baseball. Lacrosse, Notre Dame winning in lacrosse yesterday. Saw that. Big win over Maryland. Caitlin Clark got her first win finally. Indiana Fever finally getting off the schneid. Got Mammoth in a few minutes. If you need something, reach out to us. rockmornings.com for all our contact info.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That, of course, Mammoth. Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom. Television tonight, you've got America's Got Talent, season 19 premiere. It's going to be all the singing competitions during the summer, Shaw, as the scripted shows take a break. So America's Got Talent, season 19 premiere on NBC. Beat Shazam, season 7 premiere of that on Fox. Followed by the series premiere of Quiz with Balls. If you were watching any of the NASCAR coverage over the weekend, you probably saw this game show. Hosted by Jay Farrow. People have to answer a question correctly or they get knocked off their platform into a pool below. That's it.
That's it.
So they're standing there, and there's a ball, and if they don't answer correctly, the ball comes down and knocks them right into the pool of water, and they got to swim out. Also, Password on NBC tonight. Joel McHale and Jimmy Fallon will be your Password players. All the late-night shows are in repeats. It's New Release Tuesday. Gene, you said this was a great film, Kung Fu Panda 4?
I actually, we never saw it, but the Kung Fu series is...
You think they're funny?
Oh, yeah, they're hilarious.
So it's rated PG, and it stars, of course, Jack Black, Awkwafina, Viola Davis, Dustin Hoffman, Bryan Cranston, Ian McShane. You've got Seth Rogen, a whole bunch of others. Poe is tapped to become the spiritual leader of the Valley of Peace, needs to find and train a new dragon warrior, while a wicked sorceress plans to resummon all the master villains whom Poe has vanquished to the spirit realm. Also, Bob Marley, One Love, rated PG-13. That's available on DVD today. The story of reggae icon Bob Marley. Mm-hmm. Arthur the King, rated PG-13. This is the dog, Mark Wahlberg.
Yes.
The Ultra Runner race, Shaw. You remember this one?
Watch that one. I don't know.
Bear Grylls apparently is in this one as well. Plays himself. Adventure Racer adopts a stray dog named Arthur to join him on an epic endurance race. Rated R, Anatomy of a Fall. A woman is suspected of murder after her husband's death. Their half-blind son faces a moral dilemma as the main witness.
It's
heavy?
Swedish.
Swedish. I didn't recognize any of the names in the cast.
Well, it was up for an Oscar. I think Swedish, I don't know, somewhere in that area, Netherlands, but supposedly pretty interesting.
In the Land of Saints and Sinners, rated R, stars Liam Neeson, Cole Meany. Guess what happens? Liam Neeson's got to kick some ass, Shaw.
He comes in kicking ass?
In a remote Irish village, a widower is forced to fight for redemption after a lifetime of sins, but what price is he willing to pay?
I don't know what price. The entire price, Shaw. All the price.
It's not on sale.
It's not on sale. Full price.
Also on DVD today for New Release Tuesday, a movie called No Way Up. It's rated R, also starring Cole Meany. We watched this one actually on a streaming service, and it's about a bunch of people on an airplane that go down in the ocean. Remember I told you this? Mm-hmm. And then they live in the plane, and the plane's underwater, and there's an air pocket.
Sharks.
And then the sharks start coming in, and they start getting eaten by sharks, which is my horrific nightmare, is that I would live through a cruise ship sinking or a plane going down in the ocean just to get eaten by a shark. Anyways, they don't all survive, but some of them do. Also on DVD today, New Release Tuesday, The Bricklayer, rated R, starring Aaron Eckhart as an ex-CIA agent reactivated when an extortionist targets the agency. So there you go. That's what's new on New Release Tuesday. And what's on television tonight? We watched a movie. Well, we started watching a movie yesterday. I don't know what the hell prompted my wife to want to watch this, but it's called Street Trash. And it's from the 80s. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Take a guess at what Street Trash is about.
Is it just guys who like to race each other? Or
Nope.
Is it employees of the evening?
Nope. Hookers?
Yeah.
Ladies of the night?
Is it crack dealers?
No, but you're getting warmer, Shaw. You want to take a stab at it? Street Trash from the 80s?
Well, I know she likes their horror movies. Is there some kind of a horror component to this?
Oh, yes.
Are they vampires?
Nope. Nope.
No vampires.
They took drugs and now they're zombie. They're
again in the drugs and the crack thing. You're warm. You're warm.
A poison drug, and then they become
getting even warmer.
And then it becomes
so. It's so goofy. I had to go to bed. I watched about 40 minutes and I was like, I got to go to bed. This is ridiculous. So apparently so things are tough in whatever town this is set in. and there's a lot of homeless people and drunks and vagrants and people wandering around. And there's a guy who owns a liquor store, and his liquor store keeps getting robbed by these homeless people, where they kind of come in and they put bottles in their pockets and they run out, and he's got to chase them and whatever. Well, he finds this case of liquor in the back alleyway. I don't know, he's just, or maybe in a storeroom or something. He's like, down there kicking things around, and he finds a case of liquor, and it's like 60 years old. And apparently it's poisonous, so that he starts selling it to the homeless population for $1 a pop, because they can afford that instead of them stealing from him. Well, what he doesn't know is that when they drink it, they automatically start melting. Like their insides start turning to blue goo and yellow, and and so I got about 2 homeless
goo people
death. One of them melted into a toilet bowl, and then the other one was on a fire escape, and he melted on top of some businessman who was walking by, and all the yellow goo was on top of him. And I was like, I got to go to bed. I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is all about, but yeah. Street trash from the 80s, Shaw. If you're ever looking for a real
heard of that one.
An Oscar winner. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then, of course, my wife and we always play that game when you're watching. I think that guy was this guy in the other movie she's like, I think that was one of the sodomites in Shawshank Redemption, when he says, I'll cash it out with the sodomites. I'm like, I'm not going on my phone to look for this guy who's a big character in 2 movies, and I got to look up a sodomite. I'm like, I'm just not doing that today.
I am going to bed.
Yes.
That's what's happening.
That's what I did, so... But if again, Oscar-winning, Smithsonian-worthy film, Shaw, Street Trash.
I'm sure.
From the 80s.
Real keeper. Sounds like it.
I wonder what the big, hurrah at the end is. Do all the homeless people drink it at once, or is there some sort of comeuppance for the
uprising?
I guess I'll have to watch the rest of it to find out, Shaw.
Maybe she'll give you the Cliff's Notes version.
We'll see. What else is happening?
At least 21 people are dead, including children, after severe weather spawned several tornadoes that tore a path of destruction across Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Kentucky since Saturday night. 2 children, ages 2 and 5, were among the dead in Texas. Major damage and several power outages were reported throughout several states. 3 tornadoes were confirmed on Sunday in Wisconsin. No one was injured, but several buildings were flattened, trees were toppled, and power lines downed. Those tornadoes touched down near Fond du Lac, Janesville, and Fort Atkinson. Does your list of summer activities include stops for sweet treats? Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers recently came to La Crosse to promote tourism season and enjoyed a chocolate chip cone at the Sweet Shop on Caledonia Street.
Eating ice cream, some of the best. Honestly, I eat a lot of ice cream. It's some of the best I've ever had.
Evers is asking state leaders to release funding that's already been set aside for promoting travel, which is a big industry in Wisconsin.
Over 100,000 people have jobs in tourism. But last year our economy was helped by $23.7 billion of tourism money, and it keeps getting bigger every year.
The Sweet Shop in La Crosse has been in business for over 100 years. A Wisconsin judge has sentenced a man to nearly 20 years in prison for a 2016 firebombing. It happened in Fond du Lac when 26-year-old Elliot Schneider was sentenced to 18 years behind bars on felony counts of being party to property damage by means of explosive and reckless endangerment. Prosecutors say Schneider built a bomb and then paid another man to plant it at the Fond du Lac home of a man that Schneider believed had stolen money from him in a drug deal. That bomb exploded in a mailbox, injuring one person. He was considered the greatest college basketball player ever. Bill Walton died yesterday at the age of 71. His career as a player was cut short by injuries, but he followed his college and pro basketball career with a career as a broadcaster, putting the color in color commentary. Big part of the UW La Crosse men's and women's track and field teams taking first and second respectively in the outdoor national championships over the weekend was its success in the 400 relay. Both the men and women won titles in that event, which has now only happened 4 times in all of Division III history. Logan High grad Lauren Jarrett anchored the women's team. It was one of 3 events she won. She also broke her own school record in winning the 200 and became the first ever from UWL and just the 17th ever in Division III history to sweep both the 100 and 200. Not to be outdone by Jarrett, teammate Sam Blaskowski was part of the men's championship 400 relay team. He also won the 100 and 200 meter dashes, giving him 5 total golds in those 2 events over the past 3 seasons. The UWL men's team won the outdoor championship, giving them the sweep for the year. They were also the indoor champions. The women finished second, by the way, runners-up nationally.
Your girl got a win finally.
Caitlin Clark did, yes, over the weekend.
Speaking of wins,
point,
yeah. Brewers Beat my Red Sox up pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Took 2 out of 3 from them. Still finished 4 and 5 on that road trip. Not good. Then there was a little weird dust up on Sunday.
Yeah, what's going on? It's something with the Brewers and the AL East. I don't know, but they're getting fights with all those teams.
And it was the first base coach. Like, dude, who are you? Shut your mouth. Nobody even knows who you are. You're the first base coach. You shouldn't be saying anything to anybody. Just, take a look at the fly ball and let the runner know if he's got to go.
Right.
Stop chirping at the pitcher, big dingus. Everybody comes running in and nothing even happens. What a waste of time.
No punches were thrown.
What a waste of time. I want to see some fights. If you're going to run in from the bullpen, at least throw a punch or something. Throw a chair or a Gatorade cooler or something. All these people running around, looking at each other, pointing and swearing and cursing. It's like, Soundgarden.
Rock mornings. Only on 95.7 The Rock.
Soundgarden without Shine. Rock mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw. We'll get back to him in just a bit. If the phones are working, and I think they are, we'll talk to Grant Bills later on this morning from the Wisco Sports Show. We've been experiencing some difficulties with our phones recently, but I think they've been fixed, so we'll find out. Selective Hearing Stu texted in, said part of what I did this weekend, regardless of the BS, I'm still proud to be an American. And I asked him if it was the new flag, and he said, yeah, he put in a new pole and a new flag. Look at that thing. That's nice. Impressive. You got to get some trees in your front yard there, Selective Hearing Stu. You got no trees over here, man.
Yeah, it looks like new
wide open spaces.
So got to take care of that. I know there was a lot of parades and services throughout the area yesterday as well.
Apparently he cooked a 15-hour pork butt as well. Look at that thing. That's beautiful as well. It's National Brisket Day and also National Hamburger Day today. There are some deals on hamburgers at a bunch of chain restaurants, so obviously a lot of that's app-driven. If you're interested in grabbing a free burger, I think Wendy's is doing like a 1 penny junior bacon cheeseburger or whatever it is. Yeah, so Wendy's handing out junior bacon cheeseburgers for a penny if you order through their website or their app. And the good news on that one is it runs through Sunday, so it's not just today for National Hamburger Day. Burger King marking their 70th birthday with a week full of deals. You can get a free hamburger today if you spend 70 cents and join the rewards program. Then it's the same deal the rest of the week for other stuff. Spend 70 cents and you get something for free. Arby's rewards members can get half off a burger to between now and Sunday. And there's several others out there as well if you want to give it a Google. But today is National Brisket Day and National Hamburger Day. So a very meaty, delicious day. Didn't we eat enough hamburgers this weekend?
Yeah, I have leftovers.
I went upscale meat. I didn't do burgers and dogs. We went steaks and filet and all that stuff, chickens. Yeah, it's good. Some Stone Temple Pilots coming up next.
Rock mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9.
Rock mornings with Brian and Gene. That, of course, Stone Temple Pilots' Interstate Love Song. And if you get an Iron Man bionic arm, you get to call yourself Iron Man, right?
So someone lost their arm or never had one, or how?
5-year-old kid from New York named Jordan Marotta, born without a left hand. But now he's way cooler than all of his friends because he just got a bionic arm that looks like Iron Man's hands.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you can go and open the box, all right?
Let's see what you got, George.
George, open it, buddy. Oh. Look, open it. Oh.
What do you think?
Wait, hold it up. That's yours.
Yes.
like that. Oh, good. Yeah, it's good.
Video of him and his parents unboxing, if you will, the Iron Man arm that he's got. Lives on Long Island. Born without a left hand, but now he's got superhero status. The whole thing decked out in the red and gold colors of Iron Man. Jordan's mom, Ashley, says he was just walking down the streets of Manhattan, throwing his new hand up in the air, screaming, "Taxi!"
Over here, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Obviously doesn't have any real superpowers there, but pretty cool looking bionic arm for Jordan, the 5-year-old born without a left arm. Or left hand, excuse me. Got his fitting done and everything, and then looks like he's going to have a hell of a good time working with this thing. Jordan's physical development, emotional maturity made him the perfect candidate to get this new arm, going through all of the testing and all of the different types of
all the things
therapy and all the stuff he's got to do. Yep. electrodes, sensors, detect muscle contractions, respond with the appropriate hand and finger movements. Runs on a 14-hour rechargeable battery. Takes about a month to be made for this arm.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's able to grip his scooter with both hands, shoot a basketball properly. All this stuff. He's going to just have himself a day. So apparently found out that he was going to be born without the left hand while 20 weeks pregnant.
Unique disorder that resulted in that, but...
And now he's got himself an Iron Man hand.
Yeah. Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Oh! Snap. Rolling up to school on the first day. Check me out, bro.
Check it. Look what I can do. Look what I can do.
Very cool story. More from Shaw in a bit. Also some Nothing More and Five Finger Death Punch. If you want to get in touch with us, visit rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings, Brian, Gene, and Shaw. Kind of cloudy, gloomy. Mid to maybe upper 60s today. And rain in the forecast throughout the area. Looks like not heavy stuff like we had over the weekend, but just some light rain maybe?
Yeah, there's some light rain moving through Eau Claire right now, and nothing in the radar that shows La Crosse is expecting any precipitation anytime soon, but there is rain in the forecast for today.
All right. Then maybe some sunshine, looks like tomorrow and Thursday, and rain returning Friday night into the weekend?
Yep, looks that way, doesn't it?
All right.
A slight chance of showers Saturday and Sunday, so just a 30% chance.
At least we'll have a break to get that stuff done outside. You know,
tomorrow's going to be
all
nice.
That crap, so got to get that done before we go on vacation. Very excited, Shaw.
I can tell, as you should be.
Oh, get out of this dump.
Two whole weeks.
2 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I've ever taken a vacation.
My wife the other day, she's like, I'm getting so excited for vacation, and she's been she went to the library and got books and on Cape Cod because we're staying there for a couple of nights, and we've never stayed on the Cape, at least not together. We've never stayed on the Cape, and so she's all like, "Oh, we're gonna be like the Kennedys and blah blah blah." I'm like, "No, we're not gonna be like the Kennedys. We're gonna be poor. All right, we're staying in a hotel. The Kennedys don't stay in a hotel. They stay in a mansion.
They own the hotel.
They own the hotel.
Don't they
right?
own that whole arm of the land?
They own the Cape. All right. So, but she's and we've been talking about all the food and going to the Red Sox game and all, and she's like. She's telling me all these. She's like, "Oh, I'm so excited! I can't wait." And she's like, "What are you excited for?" I'm like, "I just am excited to see my best friend Donut. I haven't seen him in a decade. It's been a long time because we don't get out there very often. He obviously doesn't get out here. We have lives and everything, and so. And she's like, "Oh, well, aren't you excited for the other stuff?" And I said,
sure,
"Yeah, whatever." I'm like, "I already been to Red Sox games. Not that big a deal." I'm like, "Yeah, it'll be great."
I'm excited about that, but
it's number one, man. Like, can't wait to see my friends and to be around them and to be able to be me, not the radio version of this guy. So my friends accepting of who I am as a human being. So it'll be nice to be around them, Shaw. I can swear unabashedly. I can just curse people out.
And you will.
Oh, man, it's going to be great. Get it all out now. What's going on?
They have confirmed 3 tornadoes touched down in Wisconsin over the weekend, damaging buildings and downing power lines. The National Weather Service confirmed the twisters Sunday night were all rated as EF0, the lowest rated tornado. The first tornado touched down near Janesville, where it remained on the ground for 22 minutes. That storm damaged multiple homes and downed trees and power lines. There were no injuries. A second tornado touched down later near Janesville and Whitewater. And a third tornado near Fort Atkinson downed some tree limbs. 4 teenagers are dead. Another was seriously injured when their truck collided with a semi in Dodge County over the weekend. The crash happened around 4 a.m. Monday near Columbus, Wisconsin. The 4 teens were in a pickup when they ran a stop sign and hit a semi. The driver, a 17-year-old Sun Prairie man, was pronounced dead at the scene. A 17-year-old passenger from Sun Prairie and a 16-year-old passenger from Madison also were killed. An 18-year-old passenger from Madison later died at a hospital, while another 18-year-old passenger is hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. The driver of the semi, a 57-year-old man from Lafarge, was taken to a hospital with minor injuries. Police have released the name of a man who died in a crash in Trempealeau County on Saturday. It happened Saturday afternoon when an SUV collided with a semi. Witnesses say the semi was parked on the shoulder of the road after suffering a flat tire. The SUV then collided with a stalled semi. This happened on I-94 near Osseo. The driver of the SUV, 39-year-old Primislaw Kania of Chicago, was killed in the crash. The driver of the semi was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. Layoffs are planned at the Turbo, the school announcing that 27 positions at the university are being eliminated. The Turbo's president says they're facing enrollment declines and a growing deficit that's expected to reach $5.5 million next year. The elimination of jobs includes 13 current positions that will be laid off and 14 vacant posts that will not be filled. And a Wisconsin judge is expected to weigh a union lawsuit against collective bargaining restrictions. Arguments are set for today. Unions representing teachers and public workers sued to end the state's near-total ban on collective bargaining for most public employees. That 2011 law spurred massive protests that made Wisconsin the center of a national fight over union rights. If the latest lawsuit succeeds, workers who lost their collective bargaining power would have it restored. This law has withstood numerous legal challenges, and the legislature is asking for the case to be dismissed.
Shaw in the newsroom for 3 ways and bad news happy music on National Hamburger Day and Brisket Day.
Were you going to have either one of those tonight, Shaw?
I don't think so. I think we're having a salad tonight.
Yeah.
Wow. Really?
But that brisket sounds pretty darn good.
Kicking it up a notch over there with your salad. Just a salad?
Well, there'll probably be a roll with it.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. Butter, too?
Yeah, butter, too.
Good Lord.
Well, we
fancy schmancy.
Ate like pigs over the weekend trying to get back on track here.
Yeah, we're trying to eat all the food that's in our fridge so that there's none left when we go on vacation. We have a bunch of leftovers from our grill out with the in-laws on Sunday, so we're going to take care of some of that tonight. You have a bunch of, what do you got left over?
Lasagna and tater tot casserole. Leftovers.
With all them kids in your house? You didn't?
I made
a lot?
Well, there was...
I saw Henry. I saw Grace and Ella. I saw Sydney. I saw Lori. I saw Balzer. I saw there was another guy. Must have been someone's boyfriend.
Henry's friend.
Some
there
guy.
There was 9 of us.
And there was dogs and you and Mike. And,
that's why.
And you didn't... All you people couldn't eat all that? Just a couple of...
I had salad.
How many casseroles did you make?
I made a triple batch of the tater tot casserole.
And 9 people couldn't eat through that?
And we had a salad and a cheese tray and fruit and cupcakes and...
Amateurs. You call yourself Midwesterners.
Shaw, we did our best, but I have leftovers, is what I'm saying to you.
Just leave it on the stove. One of your dogs will jump up there and eat it.
Whatever, but I put it away.
All right.
Packed it away.
Leftover day.
Yes.
Right now, it's the latest from Nothing More.
Rock Mornings on 95.7 The Rock.
5-Finger Death Punch with the Bleeding. Rock Mornings, Brian, Gene, and Shaw. The Brew Crew. Over the weekend, taking 2 out of 3 from my Red Sox. However, they did finish their 9-game road trip with a losing record, 4-5. Beat the Cubs at home yesterday, 5-1. At home against the Cubs again tonight, 6:40 first pitch. Celtics sweeping the Pacers out of the playoffs with a 105-102 win last night. They will now await the winner of the Mavs-Timberwolves series, which continues this evening. The Mavs T-Wolves tonight at 7:30 on TNT. Game 4. T-Wolves must win.
Got to win this tonight.
Got to win every last one of them, the final 4 games.
Yeah, this has to happen.
NHL last night, Dallas beat Edmonton 5-3. They take a 2-1 series lead there. Tonight in the NHL, the Rangers are in Florida to take on the Panthers. Game 4 of that series at 7 o'clock on ESPN. The Rangers are up 2-1. 2 women are suing kicker Brandon McManus and the Jaguars, alleging that McManus sexually assaulted them during a team's overseas flight to London last year. The 2 women, identified as Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2 in the lawsuit filed last Friday in Duval County Circuit Civil Court, accused McManus of rubbing himself against them and grinding against them. They also accused the Jaguars of failing to supervise McManus and failing to create a safe environment for the staff that was serving the team. So it sounds like they were flight attendants or working on the flight or something like that.
Somehow part of the organization that was servicing them. And
yep. In really good news,
yes,
the worst umpire in Major League Baseball history is retiring effective immediately. Angel Hernandez, who everyone hates. There is not a single person who will say anything nice or positive about this dumpster fire of a human being. Ending his controversial 3-decade-long career. A reign of terror is what I like to refer to it as. This guy sucks. He is if you should never know the umpires' names.
I was just going to say.
You should never know.
How do you even know?
Right? Even the old guy who had the country albums, I can't remember, Joe something or other. We only knew about that guy because he had country albums. And he was super old and he'd been around forever. And everybody kind of got to know who he was.
But this guy,
Angel Hernandez, anybody that's ever cheered for a baseball team knows who this scumbag is. He is the worst umpire in the history of Major League Baseball, and his career is finally over. Thank God, good riddance. Get this guy out of here. He sucks. 62-year-old Hernandez, in a statement, confirmed earlier reports that he would be retiring, had reached a settlement to leave Major League Baseball, according to a source, and will leave after umpiring thousands of games since his debut in 1991. But this guy is finally out of the league. Awful, just hideous. You'd see him on the line, and oh God, oh here we go. Just so great. It's like all the clouds are gone, all the flowers are in bloom. Everyone's got $1 million in their bank account.
So he really was that despised.
Oh, everyone hates this guy. Hates him. I don't even know if hate's a strong enough. Well, because he's part of a union. And look, dude, this is not me bashing on unions, but that's the beauty of a union, right? You could be terrible at your job. You could be hated by every single person around you. But because you're in a union and they fight for your rights to have employment, then you get to continue to have your job. I don't know how this guy didn't get his ass beat by somebody all the bad calls this guy's ever made. He is horrific. Just abysmal. I don't know if I can come up with any more adjectives to describe this piece of garbage. So pathetic at his job.
So everybody's
my dead grandmother could call better balls and strikes than that guy. Both of my dead grandmothers. Elsewhere in sports, former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson apparently suffered a medical emergency on a flight from Miami to Los Angeles on Sunday, but seems to be back on his feet. Tyson representatives told the New York Post yesterday that Mr. Tyson is doing great. He became nauseous and dizzy due to an ulcer flare 30 minutes before landing. He is appreciative to the medical staff that were there to help him. Eyewitness told the Post that passengers on the flight heard an announcement asking for a doctor, and that once the plane landed, paramedics came on board to attend to Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's representative denied reports that the incident delayed passengers leaving the plane. He says it's false reporting that his medical attention caused the flight delay. This 2-hour delay was due to an air conditioning issue on the aircraft. Who cares? Tyson, by the way, turns 58 next month, scheduled to return to the ring on July 20th to fight Jake Paul in what's expected to be a huge cash grab for both of them and Netflix. But it sounds like he's dealing with
some sort of
flare up there with his ulcer, and sounds like he'll be okay.
My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
I really only wanted to talk about Mike Tyson so that I could play clips of Mike Tyson saying funny things.
I don't know, man. I might just fade into Bolivian, you know what I mean?
Especially that one. Fade into Bolivian.
Amen, Mike.
Speaking of amen, Dean texted in and said amen to that, referring to Angel Hernandez.
So everybody hates that guy.
Remember when Tanya Harding was the thing?
Yes.
And there was all that graphic sexual stuff online about her?
Yes.
There was a whole website dedicated to sexual fantasy stories about Tanya Harding.
Yeah, made up stuff that people made up and put on.
Right. Sort of like Penthouse Letters, but just for Tanya Harding. And it was a whole website devoted to that. There's got to be a website devoted to people who hate Angel Hernandez. Got to be. Maybe several. So bad. I saw that news this morning, and I almost cried a tear of joy. I got to be honest. He's so effing bad. How do you be that bad at your job and continue to have a job? Even NFL coaches who finish 0-60, they get fired eventually.
This guy, though, no.
Oh, God. Sucks so bad. Sorry. It's a great day for baseball. It really is. I mean, like, invention of the wheel, Caveman gets fired, Angel Hernandez gets fired. And the things that are great.
Retired. Effective immediately.
Yeah, fired, retired, whatever. Same thing. Pearl Jam coming up in a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is the latest from Pearl Jam. And this is some old stuff from Pearl Jam. It's Gene's favorite Pearl Jam song. It's called Rats. Shaw, do you know why?
Nope.
Gene loves rats?
Nope.
Because Zendaya told her to.
Is that how it came about? Okay.
Apparently, you're supposed to like rodent-faced men now.
Huh.
I don't know what's going on with your mic. Try it again. So, dad bods were in for a minute.
Yeah.
I guess there was also something called golden retriever boyfriends. I'm guessing that date a guy who has a golden retriever.
And they just smile and jump and lick your face.
But yeah, rat-faced men are the hot new thing, Shaw.
What is a rat-faced man?
It's like one of the guys in that Zendaya movie, Challengers, the tennis film, which nobody went and saw. They call it rodent-handsome. Refers to guys who are more svelte than muscular, with pinched, angular features that are not considered conventionally handsome. They also display the opposite of toxic masculinity. There we go. Not afraid to publicly show love to their partners in a, quote, slightly weird but sexy way. I love how these people think they discovered something. John Cusack was doing this crap in the 80s, 40 years ago, bro. This slightly unconventional, non-toxic masculinity way. Expressing his feelings. What do you want to do with your life, Lloyd? Well, I'd like to spend as much time as possible with your daughter. How about that? You remember that? Oh, no, that's right, because you're just about 6 minutes old and you don't watch anything that has any kind of soul or essence. You just make up stuff like rodent-handsome. Gained a lot of traction thanks to the two guys Zendaya messes around with in a new tennis movie called Challenger, Shaw. Josh O'Connor has been compared to Roddy St. James, the rat from the movie Flushed Away.
So compared to like a cartoon.
And people think that Mike Faced or Faust or whatever the hell his name is looks like Stuart Little, but in a good way. Other sexy rodent men that you should aspire to be, gentlemen, include Kieran Culkin, Tom Hiddleston, Jeremy Allen White, the guy from The Bear, right? Logan Lerman, Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, and Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriend Matt Healy. The chaos of rodent-handsome made its way to the Today Show, where Jenna Bush Hager said, quote, "You should want to date Stuart Little. He's actually quite attractive." Rodent-handsome, Shaw. Are you rodent-handsome?
I don't think so. I don't think I'm in any way handsome.
I would say you're svelte. You're not muscular. You're not very angular, though. Are you expressive of your love in public in a weird and sexy way?
I would say no.
No?
Generally not.
Mary wouldn't refer to you as an expressive lover?
So you have to have like a...
It's like the little snub nose, right?
Kind of more pinched and kind of narrow.
A narrow nose?
Narrow and pointy, I guess, apparently.
Who's that comedian that all the women liked until he told offensive jokes? Matt Rife?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he a rodent?
I don't know.
Is he a rat?
I was unaware that there was a rodent until this morning.
Go downtown and have a rat gnaw that thing off your face.
It's news to me, Shaw, that there was...
Me too. Never heard the term.
Rodent hot.
Dad bods are out.
Mice are in.
Work on that, Shaw.
Okay. I'll do that this afternoon.
I don't know if there's a special helmet you can wear.
I don't know.
Start getting those angular jaw lines and all that crap.
You are svelte, though.
You got that going for you.
I'll take that part.
You can fit in a duffel bag. Take me anywhere, right? Put me in the overhead compartment.
You're halfway there.
Not expressive.
No.
Does pinching your wife in public, does that count as expressive in a weird and sexy way?
Yeah, I would say.
No?
Unless she slaps you.
Probably not.
All right. What else is happening?
At least 21 people are dead, including children, after severe weather spawned several tornadoes that tore a path of destruction across Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Kentucky since Saturday night. 2 children, ages 2 and 5, were among the dead in Texas. Major damage and power outages were reported throughout several states. An arrest has been made now in connection with an area murder. The Trempealeau County Sheriff's Office says they arrested a person on Friday for a death that happened in Ettrick back on May 15th. But no one is saying anything about the case, including who was arrested. Investigators say it is a homicide, but they aren't providing any other details yet. A Wisconsin judge has sentenced a man to almost 20 years in prison in connection with a 2016 firebombing. Fond du Lac County's judge sentenced 26-year-old Elliot Schneider on Friday to 18 years behind bars on felony counts of being a party to property damage by means of explosive and reckless endangerment. Prosecutors accused Schneider of making a bomb and then paying someone to plant it at the home of a man he believed had stolen money from him in a drug deal. The bomb exploded in a mailbox and one person was hurt. Schneider denied the allegations. The wall that heals is making its only stop in Wisconsin. That wall is a 3/4 size replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington. It travels across the country, and today it will be stopping in the village of Heartland. Its only Wisconsin stop this year. The wall is transported by a special 53-foot semi, and Vietnam veterans on motorcycles will escort the truck into Heartland this afternoon. It will remain on display there through June 2nd.
Where's Heartland?
Near Milwaukee.
Okay.
Just outside of Milwaukee. And Willie Adames hit a 3-run homer during a 5-run 8th inning, leading the Brewers to a 5-1 win over the Cubs. And Craig Counsell's return to Milwaukee.
Boo!
Counsell, the winningest manager in Brewers history, but left the Brewers after last season when the Cubs signed him to a $40 million deal. The Brewers welcomed Counsell back with a brief thank you video message on the scoreboard that was accompanied by a chorus of boos. Counsell was booed every time he left the dugout during yesterday's game.
Boo! Boo!
Well, people bought those tickets specifically to go to the game and express their
they were looking forward to it.
Negativity.
People marked it on their calendar. As soon as the schedule came out, they're like, hell yeah, we're going to this one. And the Brewers got the win, which is the key ingredient there, obviously. Yeah, you boo the guy, but if you don't win the game, then...
I know it's early, but the Brewers are up 4.5 games on the Cubs in the standings right now.
Yeah. First and even though they finished 4-5 on that 9-game road trip, they still managed to stay up on the Cubs. And as I mentioned during Sports Shaw, a glorious day for Major League Baseball as Angel Hernandez.
Yes, he's out.
Has retired.
Do you hate him as much as everyone?
He's one of those umps that likes to make it about himself, and I don't care for that. And so, yeah, he's not one of my favorites.
He is widely considered to be the worst Major League Baseball ump of all time. Anybody, and like I told Gene when we started talking about him, you should not know any Major League Baseball ump's name.
Right, because they shouldn't be that much a part of the game.
Joe West was the only guy you should remember because he had a bunch of country albums, and at the end of his career, they made a big sloppy mess about it on TV every time he umped a game. And okay, fine, you know Joe West. But other than that, you shouldn't know any other ump's name. I mean, you just shouldn't. But everybody knew who this guy was because he was so bad at his job.
Yeah, and all the headlines are...
hate his guts.
Baseball just got a lot better for everyone.
Yes. Grant Bills, we'll talk to him about that about 8:25 when he joins us.
They even have a montage of his worst calls ever.
Dude, some of them, it's laughable. You look at it, you're like, how could that even be a strike or a ball? Or what are you doing, dude? Did you even see it? Did you have your eyes open? Like, are you even here in this realm? Are you in the other realm with Doctor Strange? Like, where are you, bro? Oh, he's so bad. So effing bad.
Rock mornings on your rock station.
Black Sabbath, Paranoid, Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw. Got a text from T. Stet who said, Brian, please tell us how you really feel about that umpire. It's making my day hearing you rant about him. Have a good day. I am having a good day. Angel Hernandez no longer umpires for Major League Baseball.
Said, that's it, I'm retiring.
And that's not to say that every other ump is great or perfect. They all have their flaws, but he is widely known to be the worst in history. History. In the 100+ years of Major League Baseball, that guy is the worst. The worst.
Everybody's got to be good at something.
He's good at being the worst.
Yes.
You got any money in your wallet? What do you got? Any dollar bills?
I think I have $3. Three singles, I think.
Go get them. We're going to see if you're rich. You could be rich. All you need is 2 $1 bills. So this is, if you want to read more about this, it's online. CNBC did a big story on rare misprinted dollar bills that sell for thousands of dollars online.
Okay. I'm sure I have one of those. I'm positive.
The hard part is you don't need
4.
You don't need one. You need 2. You need 2 of them because they have to be from the 2 different printers.
It has to be.
Here's the sitch. Follow me here. It gets a little weird. Every bill the government prints gets its own serial number. Mm-hmm. But in 2016, a printer in Texas accidentally used the same serial numbers as a printer in D.C. If you find 2 that match up, they could be worth a nice little chunk of change. One set of these bills just sold for about $2,300 in March. Another set sold for over $7,000 a year ago.
So you have to have 2 matching the set.
And also, it's not like they're rare. Apparently, over 6 million duplicate bills exist. But there's over 14 billion $1 bills in circulation, so it's 1 for every $2,300 that are in circulation. Catch my drift so far?
I do, yes.
Okay. Finding 2 of them on your own is kind of impossible, but the good news is you don't have to necessarily. There's a website that's dedicated to this whole thing, trying to get people who have matching numbers together to split the jackpot, essentially. It's called Project 2013B. Project 2013B. It's a website that connects people who find these matching dollar bills with one another. They've got around 80 of the serial numbers listed right there on the website. So if you find the match, you could split the money. They've already made 16 connections with people so far this year. Is that like 4 every month, essentially? So here's what you got to look for on your dollar bill.
Okay.
It has to say Series 2013 next to Washington's head. That's the year the design was first used.
Series what?
2013. Can you see the series next to his head?
Mine says Series 2017A.
Okay.
So far, this one's, yeah. Mine are all from 17.
All right, well, you're out. You're not rich. You're poor. You're back to being poor. Go back to having just $4. You can get that $1 alcohol that the bum liquor store guy was selling, the Viper stuff that melts your insides.
Series 2017A. 3 of them say that. One just says Series 2017.
All right, so first it's got to say 2013, Series 2013 next to Washington's head.
Okay.
The seal to the left of his head has to be a B. That's the branch of the Federal Reserve that issued it.
Oh, I got that B.
And there's 12 of them. B means New York. Here's where it gets a little murky. The serial number starts with a B followed by one of these 2 sets of serial numbers, 1 through 250,000 or 3,201 through 9,600,000. Again, if you go to Project 2013B,
this will tell you more.
All this information will be there. But you could be rich. Maybe not rich, but you could strike it rich with a couple of $1 bills that have matching serial numbers. And if you don't have both of them, you could find somebody online on this website that maybe you could match with. Project 2013B is the website. You want to give it a look.
Okay, I'm back to just having
You're poor.
$4.
Oh, yeah. Well, you bought too much damn tater tot casserole.
Yeah, I got $4.
That's what you get.
That's what I got.
So is it tomorrow that the tater tot leftovers show up here? Or is it Thursday? How many days are you going to milk this thing before I get some?
I can bring some tomorrow. I can bring some.
All right. Alice in Chains coming up in just a bit. Find us online, rockmornings.com.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is Alice in Chains, Man in the Box. Jerry Cantrell of Alice in Chains going to be at Copeland Park and Event Center in August with Bush, Candlebox, and Tim Montana. Tickets on sale at CopelandEvents.com. That show's coming up quick, Saturday, August 3rd. Be here before you know it. Kylie Minogue is 56.
Everybody's doing a dance now.
Had a hit way back in the, late 80s, early 90s with her cover of The Locomotion, and she became kind of like a dance hall DJ lady, I guess. I don't know. Kylie Minogue, though, 56. Roland Gift is 63. Like no one else. Lead singer of the Fine Young Cannibals drives you crazy. Roland Gift, 63. Kirk Gibson, 67 years young today. Obviously, 1988, the home run that everybody remembers with the bad knees and the arm pump.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
Yeah. Dodgers. One of the most memorable home runs in baseball history right there. Kirk Gibson, 67. John Fogerty of CCR is 79.
Oh, put me in cold. I'm ready to play. Hey, put me in.
79.
79.
John Fogerty. Yeah. I think he still tours, doesn't he?
He does. He's in the area, as a matter of fact.
Rudy Giuliani is 80 years young today.
Rudy Giuliani and the rest of Trump's legal team held a press conference today that went off the rails as they made a series of baseless allegations, and Giuliani's hair dye ran down his face.
Did you all watch My Cousin Vinny? You know the movie? It's one of my favorite law movies because he comes from Brooklyn.
Yeah, when he was sweating the hair color.
Yes.
Weird.
Oh, yeah.
Born on this day in 1908, died in 1964, the British author behind James Bond, Ian Fleming. Worked in British intelligence during World War II, where he came up with the actual operation called GoldenEye. Then eventually came up with James Bond. Ian Fleming. 42 years ago today, May 28th of 1982, Rocky III in theaters, starring Mr. T as Clubber Lang.
No, I don't hate Balboa, but I pity the fool, and I will destroy any man who tries to take what I got.
Wouldn't want to fight that guy. At least not in 82. 1993, 31 years ago today. For some reason, they made a live-action Super Mario Brothers movie.
They did.
Starring Bob Hoskins as Mario, John Leguizamo as Luigi, and Dennis Hopper as King Koopa. It was not good. It's got cult movie classic status now, but it was not good when it came out.
Yeah.
It's still not good. It just is. It's got that cult classic thing going for it. Yeah. 26 years ago today, 1998, the great Phil Hartman shot and killed by his wife, who then killed herself.
Rocket fuel, malt liquor. Damn!
I know you love it.
I do.
2004, 20 years ago today, The Day After Tomorrow in theaters.
Is this zombies?
No,
Is this,
no,
what is this?
that's 28 days later.
Okay, what's this?
This is the weather changes rapidly, and Dennis Quaid's got a...
Does he hike across the big ice
Yeah.
thing all the way to
It's covered, the snow's covering all of New York, and he's got to get to the library to save his son, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes. I like that movie.
Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah.
In theaters on this day in 04. The oceans reverse their currents or something like that, and everything goes wacky. The helicopters are freezing in midair, and oh yeah. 2010, 14 years ago, Gary Coleman died at the age of 42.
What you talking about, Willis?
2014, Maya Angelou died at the age of 86.
And his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.
And perhaps the most notable death on this day, 8 years ago, 2016.
Mommy's right here.
Oh my God!
Isaiah.
Everybody back up. I think he's trying to quick.
Okay. Mommy loves you. I'm right here.
Mommy loves you, but unfortunately you're down there with the gorilla and we're going to have to kill it. Its name is Harambe.
Everybody at the zoo feels the loss. There's no doubt about it. You know, we have 1,000 volunteers at the zoo. We have hundreds of thousands of people who are members of the zoo. And, of course, the entire community is very involved with the Cincinnati Zoo. So it is a big loss. That said, we are very glad that the little boy is okay.
Of course you are. But they had to kill Harambe to save that little boy who fell into the gorilla enclosure. And
People
that
did not like that.
happened on this day, May 28th in 2016. And a lot of people will tell you on the internet that ever since then, the world has slightly gone downhill. Yeah, but the one good thing out of that is we got dicks out. We got dicks out for Harambe.
The wind feels even stronger, and you can see some people that are running up right.
Yeah, for Harambe.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Anyway, we think we have a little indication as to who those guys are if they're out already in this storm. So we'll let you.
We'll let you go.
I think that was in Florida, and there was like a hurricane or something. These guys, hey, Dick's out for a run, man. I love it. Gotta love it. We'll get to Shaw in just a couple minutes. Grant Bills from the Wisco Sports Show is going to talk to us in a few as well.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
Shaw in the newsroom, one final three-way this morning. What do we got?
4 teenagers are dead after their truck collided with a semi in rural south central Wisconsin. The Dodge County Sheriff's Office says that crash happened around 4 a.m. Monday, just outside of Columbus. The teens were traveling north in a pickup truck when they ran a stop sign and hit a semi that was heading east. 3 of them were pronounced dead at the scene, including a 19-year-old Sun Prairie man who was driving, a 17-year-old man from Sun Prairie, and a 16-year-old male from Madison. An 18-year-old female from Madison died at the University of Wisconsin Hospital. Another 18-year-old female passenger from Madison was taken to a hospital with life-threatening injuries. The driver of the semi, a 57-year-old man from Lafarge, suffered minor injuries. It's probably a far-fetched dream. The Milwaukee Bucks G League franchise could end up leaving Oshkosh for lacrosse, but it is something that's being talked about. Jared Flick, the lacrosse center deputy director, said scheduling would be difficult. The center books about a year and a half out. The G League schedule comes out in a much tighter window. Plus, the center needs a new floor, something the board was made aware of last week.
Could we limp through another year? Potentially. But we do know that within the next 2 years it needs to be completely redone.
How much does the floor cost?
A lot. Between $160,000 and $180,000.
Also discussed was the possibility of landing a WNBA franchise in lacrosse. That's perhaps even more of a stretch, but the league is growing, and Flick said the center could handle a team like that. Maybe if the center could land one of those franchises, their league could pay for a new floor. Although every game in the NBA Conference Finals has been fairly close, we're about to, perhaps, see a pair of sweeps. With Oshkosh native Tyrese Halliburton, the NBA's assist leader, out for a second consecutive game, the Boston Celtics beat the Indiana Pacers to advance to the NBA Finals. That win came after the Dallas Mavs pulled out a victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves to go up 3-0 in that series, and those two teams will play in Dallas tonight. The odds are incredibly bleak for the Wolves to make it to the Finals. No NBA team has ever rallied from a 3-0 deficit in a best-of-7 series in 155 tries.
I'm hoping for at least one, maybe 2 wins.
To get the Celts some rest?
Yes. Well, the Celts don't have to go anywhere. They're going to host they'll be the home team essentially, or the number 1 seed, if you will, in the NBA Finals. So if they don't, if the T-Wolves can get a win tonight, they won't play again until Thursday. And if they, get another win at home back in Minnesota, then the next game will be on Saturday. And so the playoffs won't, the finals won't even start until next week, which would be a lot of rest for the Celtics. And Porzingis, hopefully coming back, and fingers crossed. Know what I'm saying?
I do.
Scotty P. Know what I'm saying? Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. Bad news, happy music coming up. How are we looking?
A guy in Iowa is well on his way to fulfilling his dream of eating at all the Pizza Ranch locations.
How many are there?
Aim high, pal.
Like nationwide?
Yeah, they're primarily a Midwest chain, though. So
okay, so it doesn't have to venture too far away.
Right.
Okay, all right. We'll find out more about the Pizza Ranch guy during Bad News with Happy Music. And we'll talk to Grant Bills after Metallica. It's Screaming Suicide.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Metallica with their latest Screaming Suicide. Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Grant Bills, I think, is on the phone right now. Are you there?
Yes, Brian. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
Sure
We're
can.
figuring it out. New phone system stuff. I don't know. Did you get a new phone system in Madison where you're at?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
No, I was bummed that I couldn't talk with you guys last week. I look forward to this, Brian. I really do.
Well, don't ask for a new phone system because it completely sucks.
But here we
You have
are.
to figure out how to use everything again?
Well, it's just been a bleep show. And, of course, I'm going to leave on vacation for 2 weeks and then come back and I'm going to have the same problems that I had before. So I'm not going to get it up and running for a few months here. But we got you on the phone, and that's all that matters, Grant Bills. And how was Vegas? You went out to Vegas.
Yes. Vegas is, I don't know how I was there for a week in February. I don't know how I pulled that. Like, we were there for one full day. Like, we flew in on a Thursday, we flew out on a Saturday, and it's like that was the perfect amount of Vegas. I don't know how I did a week. I was thrown out of Caesars because this woman wasn't buying my ID. But it was like 1:30, 1:45 in the morning. And I'm like, honestly, I kind of wanted an excuse to go home and go to bed anyway. So
that was on this
fine.
current trip that you just went on?
Yeah.
And how was Fish in the Sphere?
The Sphere was,
or was it the Dead? It was the Dead.
It
was the Dead, right?
Yeah, it was Denko.
Okay,
and
sorry.
I'm not gonna lie, it was when we went in there, it was a little freaky. I felt like, man, what did humans create? Like, this is a little. But then you settle in after a couple minutes in your seat, and then the music starts, and it was.
Have you ever been to Disney World or Disneyland?
No.
Okay.
But I would assume, that like immersive, interactive, VR experience. I'd never really done anything like that before.
When I was a kid, we went to Disney World in Florida, and I vividly remember going on Space Mountain and how scary that was. You know what I mean? Like, the ride itself was very scary, and I can only assume that it was kind of like that inside the Sphere, claustrophobic.
Well, they fit, I don't know if it's like 20, 25,000 people. Like, obviously, it's a big venue, but the footprint of the building is so small. Like, you walk up to it, and it's very steep when you get in there. Like, the escalators to get up to your sections are really steep. The seating is really steep. Like, everyone who walked in around us, like, you could tell by the look on their face and just how slow they were going. Like, it was kind of freaky. But it's funny, I didn't see anyone leave during the show. Like, I figured there would be a couple, get a little dizzy or overwhelmed, but no, like, everyone settled in. The coolest part of the venue, I thought, was that the seats, they're, what's the word? Haptic. So they vibrate with the bass drum.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
So during, every Dead show's got a big drum interlude, so you could just sit down and rest your legs and then get a nice little, it almost felt like a massage chair. It was very, very cool.
Grant Bills from the Wisco Sports Show joining us on the phone. I wanted to talk about one thing and one thing only this morning. And that would be the news of a certain Major League Baseball umpire who is officially retired.
What do you think that conversation was like? How much money do you think they paid him to just stop?
Go away.
Just stop?
Well,
I don't get it. Like, Gene and Brian, if you guys were on the radio every day and you were awful at it, and every day people told you were awful at it, like, wouldn't you want to stop doing it? That's what I don't get about Angel Hernandez. Like, why did he keep this up for so long? I don't get it.
Because do you think it's the price? I mean, it's the paycheck?
Two schools of thought here. It's either A, I like being the villain, or B, I just don't care and I want the money. I'm never going to lose my job because I'm in this union, right? So why would I even care? I'll just do me, and if they don't like it, go after themselves.
I suppose they're just other ways to make money. Simpson, I'm not a money first person. I just have have an optimistic and lighthearted look at life. I guess I can't see it that way, but like, dude, people hated this guy. Players hated him. Everyone hated him. He just volunteered himself every night to run out there and take it.
I've gone on several rants about him this morning alone, and Jean had no idea about this person until she's like, "Oh, I Googled him, and yes, in fact, you're right. Everyone hates this guy. It's to a man. I can't think of anyone who supports him other than the union." I will say this though, for a post-career type thing, look at it this way, right? As I said to Gene before, other than Joe West, because of the country albums, do you know any other Major League Baseball umps?
No, not like Angel Hernandez.
Right,
no,
so he's got the Tim Donaghy thing going where he might be able to write a book, he might be able to have a documentary or something about. So the earning potential after Major League Baseball is now set for this guy because he was so effing bad.
I guess that's a life lesson. Be really bad at your job, and then you'll have
and somehow
security
keep it
after your job
for 30 years, and then
Also, what is
you need to be good enough to be bad? I suppose. Yeah, you need to find that balance.
One final question here. We've obviously Major League Baseball with Angel Hernandez retiring. Big news today there. The other news is what is going on with the Brewers and the AL East? Why is there such a problem between the Brewers and the AL East? Why are they dusting up with every team that they face? Your first base coach, who nobody knows, is some jabroni from who knows where, is talking to our pitcher as he's leaving the field like we're supposed to know who you are, Mr. First Base Coach? Shut your mouth.
That's not what happened at all.
That is what happened.
Your pitcher threw a temper tantrum because the Brewers tried to bunt on him, and he's like, "Why are you bunting at me?" And Quentin Berry wasn't even paying attention. The first base coach was like, "What are you So it was a big misunderstanding. You know how baseball is. Like, one guy yells something, another guy thinks he's yelling at him, and then the bench is clear and nothing happens because it's baseball. So the Red Sox one the other day, that was a misunderstanding. The other one, I mean, if I'm being honest, like, the Brewers have just been beating the tar out of some of these teams. Like, they were crushing the Orioles. And by the third night of the series, they were just pissed about it, and they threw a temper tantrum. And it's what happened with the Jays. I mean, the Rays can get bent. What happened in that series? No, I put none of these on the Brewers. The Reds, I don't put it on the Red Sox either. That was a big misunderstanding.
I think your Brewers are like your Brewers are like Will Ferrell's face in Step Brothers. You just have a punchable face. I just want to punch you in the face. They have a very punchable face. So when they come to the AL East, where tensions are high, and it's actually a horse race there where there's actually good teams instead of this, whatever dumpster fire you got in the NL Central. Things are, get heated. And so I think when the Brewers come to town, it's just like that punchable face thing from Step Brothers. You know what I'm saying?
This is such a coastal elitist and East Coast.
Well, we are. We're better. We're better. I mean, we are.
See, you don't often go down this route.
Where are the rings? Where are the rings? Where are the banners?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Where are they?
Exactly. This is why.
Where are they?
We only talk to you on Tuesdays. This is why. One day a week.
Oh, my God. One day is plenty. Look, all of the fights were funny. Don't you think that a little bit of that is good, Simpson? Doesn't it juice it up? Like, Council came back to American Family Field yesterday. That was the most entertaining baseball game I've seen in years.
That's good because it's a rivalry. It's not good when it's some team you never play. It's different when it's Yankees, Red Sox, or Orioles, Red Sox. In your division, fine. But it's some team from the middle of nowhere. I mean, come on. That never won anything.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm understanding you. When the Yankees and the Red Sox dust up, it's good for baseball.
That's very good.
Acceptable.
Of course.
When the Brewers have a dust up, we're poor piddly Milwaukee. We're not allowed to step up and defend ourselves during a baseball game. Okay, I'm going to write that down. I just want to make sure I have that down.
You can say it on your show. You're welcome. There's some content for you. You're welcome. I'm a content creator. That's what I do here.
Boy.
Well, that is true.
We got to go. Grant Bills from the Wisco Sports Show. Check him out weekday afternoons on all sorts of stations all across the state. Thank you, Grant. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Bless you both. Nice to chat. Bye.
There he is. Grant Bills from the Wisco Sports Show. Bad Wolves and Scott Robert Shaw coming up with bad news, happy music.
Rock mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man. Florida man. Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
On a Tuesday, back from a long Memorial Day holiday weekend, what do we got?
Well, he was killed for a piece of metal. Actor Johnny Wachter was shot and killed Saturday morning in downtown Los Angeles. He was just 37 years old. He played Brando Corbin on General Hospital from 2020 to 2022. He also appeared on a number of other shows, including Westworld, Criminal Minds, and NCIS. He was working as a bartender in between acting gigs and was walking a female coworker to her car when they came upon three men trying to steal the catalytic converter from his vehicle. Wachter reportedly got in front of the woman to protect her, and that's when he was shot. He was taken to a hospital where he died. The suspects fled the scene and have not been arrested yet.
What do you get for one of those? Like a couple $100?
I think so, yeah.
That's the value of a life.
Apparently. There is a traffic jam to report, but it's not on the road. It's happening in the trails leading up to the summit of Mount Everest.
Is this the trash?
Well, the picture is unbelievable. There's a long line of climbers, one behind the other, climbing up to the summit of Mount Everest. It looks to be at least 100 people.
Wow.
I had no idea it was that busy on the mountain. But an Indian man recently shared a video of the traffic on Mount Everest and said it is not a joke, but quite a serious climb. The man who recently realized his 10-year dream of reaching the top of the world shared the video on Instagram showing a long line of climbers on the world's highest peak. They were apparently delayed by an accident involving climbers above them. He shared this scary video with the caption, "This video captured shows what we face on one rope line and negotiating interchanges during the traffic for upstream and downstream."
Is it getting busier because of climate change, or?
There is a climate relation here. There's apparently a fairly narrow window to avoid what they call cruising jet streams that could lead to winds of over 100 miles per hour.
That's kind of what I figured, that there's only a certain window of opportunity to really make a go at it, and especially for maybe inexperienced or lesser experienced climbers, that want to make the attempt, but aren't as veteran as some of the other guys going up there.
I guess as I pictured climbing Mount Everest, it was more of a solitary thing, but there's literally had to be at least 100 people, one after the other, trying to climb to the top of the mountain.
Well, I think it used to be that way, where very few people tried to take it on, but now it seems like it's probably better in numbers.
I guess, maybe. If you're the mayor of a small town, you've really got to step in it to get caught in a scandal that cost you your job. But that's what happened in Sturgeon, Missouri, where the mayor of that city has resigned after a city police officer shot and killed a deaf and blind dog, leading to massive public outcry.
Yeah.
Kevin Abramson also stepped down as mayor. The officer who shot the dog was placed on leave until further notice. The resignation comes after police in Sturgeon shot a 13-pound Shih Tzu last Sunday.
A 13-pound dog? They had to shoot and kill a deaf, blind, 13-pound Shih Tzu?
Yes, according to a statement from the city, police got a call
all those people
about a lost and injured animal. The officer believed the dog was seriously injured or had rabies, and according to the city statement, the officer feared the dog would bite him and felt his only option was to put him down.
Immediately fire that guy on the spot.
According to the dog's owners, the animal was deaf and blind, apparently, and had kind of a tough life.
Big, tough officer guy with all the gear and the weapons and everything, and you're afraid of a 13-pound Shih Tzu that's deaf and blind?
Yeah.
Right.
And you got to shoot it? That's the only option? Is to kill it?
Mm-hmm.
Fire that guy immediately.
Yeah, he's on leave. The mayor resigned.
Unbelievable. I cannot believe that. What the hell?
Right?
Your first option, your only option is to shoot and kill the dog? A 13-pound dog?
Right.
That's like a wiener dog, dude.
Hardly posing a threat, it would seem, right?
About the size of my cat.
You got a 100-pound
My cat.
Rottweiler or pit bull that's attacking you and biting your face? Okay, Shaw. Plenty of leeway there.
Yep.
13-pound deaf and blind Shih Tzu?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a break, bro. Maybe police work is not meant for you, bro. Maybe find something else.
A man was rescued after jumping into the ocean from Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas Sunday morning as the ship sailed toward Honduras.
How high up was he?
I don't know. But it happened one day after leaving port from Miami, Florida on a 7-night Western Caribbean cruise. The vessel deviated its course to launch a rescue craft to locate the man who jumped overboard. The person was safely rescued. It's not clear yet their condition, but the ship is now back on schedule.
Any idea why he jumped?
No, doesn't say in this story.
Did he see a big tuna down there that he wanted to catch or something? Doing those free divers?
Right.
Just going for a record or something?
Guessing maybe he had some other issues.
A little tequila, maybe?
A man has been arrested in connection with a stabbing that wounded 4 girls in an AMC movie theater south of Boston over the weekend.
I didn't show this to my wife. We don't have any plans to go to a movie, but we're going out to that. And obviously violence happens everywhere, but I didn't show it to my wife because I was like, I don't want her to get influenced by all this.
The same suspect in that stabbing may be responsible for another incident which took place at a McDonald's restaurant. A man stabbed 4 girls inside a theater at the AMC multiplex. Police said the man came in without a ticket, went into the theater, and then attacked the 4 girls who were between the ages of 9 and 17 unprovoked.
So they're just sitting there
watching a movie.
Ready to watch a movie, and this guy just starts stabbing them.
Now the girls are hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. An employee of the theater said the suspect was described as wearing an oversized trench coat, sunglasses, and a long blonde wig. The suspect took off in a black SUV after the stabbing, but police got his plate number and were able to track him down after a similar assault at a McDonald's where a 21-year-old woman and a 29-year-old man were allegedly stabbed, both of them suffering non-life-threatening
This guy's
injuries.
just going all over the place.
Stabby.
Can we get the trigger-happy officer that kills dogs?
That kills the dog.
To
maybe
maybe
to work this
stand
case?
outside the theater and watch for psychos that are
might
coming
be
in?
better.
Maybe that's a better position for him. I don't know.
Police in Oregon say 3 men are wanted after they were caught on camera pickpocketing an elderly man in Portland. It happened in the parking lot of a Costco store. Security video shows the men taking the 93-year-old man's wallet out of his back pocket. According to police, the victim's credit cards were used just a short time later to buy hundreds of dollars in gift cards at a Fred Meyer store in the Portland area. The group has carried out similar crimes in the Pacific Northwest, and police are warning people to stay vigilant. A woman in Georgia arrested over the weekend after deputies said she repeatedly called 911 for non-emergencies. She wanted the officers to tase a raccoon. She wanted an officer to escort her to her dumpster. And she said she would need deputies in order to Google the hours of restaurants she was interested in.
She didn't know what time the restaurants were open?
Yeah, and she needed police help to find that out.
Did she not have Google of her own?
I believe she did, but she needed their assistance with it.
Don't tase me, bro.
Raccoons over here like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah. Everybody's got to have goals. This guy has one. A man from Davenport, Iowa, is on a quest to visit all of the Pizza Ranch locations located across 14 states.
He loves him some pizza.
14. So that's a lot of states.
There's more than, I looked it up, there's more than 200 Pizza Ranch locations, primarily in the Midwest.
That's not too bad.
Over the Memorial Day weekend, a guy named Jason Halkas has stopped at a Pizza Ranch in Mankato to cross off another leg on his quest. After he's finished visiting all of the current Pizza Ranch locations, he then plans to visit pizza ranches that are opening in the future.
Pizza. What does he get when he goes to the Pizza Ranch? Is it the same
the one
thing?
in Mankato had a sign on their marquee that said, "Welcome, Jason."
This guy.
Right? Big time.
It's a buffet, I think, isn't it? He gets to have a buffet.
Exactly. Maybe he gets first in line. I don't know. And I can't decide if we should consider this a modern American wedding or perhaps a throwback to the 1800s. Maybe it's both. There is a wedding reception in Indiana where a scuffle broke out, and it culminated in the groom firing a gun, shooting a guest in the hand.
Oh.
Police responded to a 911 call about a possible drunken shooting at a wedding reception. The festivities were winding down at the time, and apparently there was an argument between a wedding guest and his wife, who was accusing him of flirting with someone at the reception.
Uh-oh.
Somehow the groom got involved, started fighting the flirter. A gun was pulled, there was a struggle over it, and the gun went off, hitting yet another guy in the hand.
So the groom pulled the gun?
No, the groom wrestled the other man with the gun, it sounds like.
Okay, so neither the groom or the guy with the gun got shot. It was some other rando bystander like, I'm just here trying to get some potato salad.
I'm going to a wedding.
I'm trying to do the electric slide over here.
Right.
Move to the left. A slide to the right.
The groom denies that he intentionally pulled the trigger. He told police the gun just went off.
Yeah.
Both the groom and the flirting man were arrested, both charged with battery and criminal recklessness with a deadly weapon. Meanwhile, it sounds like the man who was shot in the hand will be okay.
I'm just trying to do the chicken dance over here, man.
I love these fights that break out at weddings. It's supposed to be the best day of your life, right? The happiest day of your life.
I'm the guy with the gun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who brings a gun to a wedding?
Right?
I mean, look, you got a rifle in the pickup, okay. Concealed carry, okay. But a wedding, like, is stuff going to pop off at a wedding?
Well, if your person is flirting with other people, you can't. What are you supposed to do about that? Whether or not, if you're not.
Man, I'll go to this wedding, but I'm bringing my gun. You're not bringing your gun. Yes, I am. I'm bringing my gun.
Yeah.
You never know when something's going to happen. You know, nothing's going to happen. Something might happen. I might need my gun.
I could use my gun.
And I'm super pro gun, dude. I just don't get that mentality. I don't get the whole, like, well.
You never know what's going to happen.
If she's flirting with my man, guns are coming out. There's no other way to solve that problem, Shaw. Guns. Immediately. Immediate guns. Bad news, happy music. Thanks, buddy.
It's a fun wedding.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time.
Yeah,
well, you'll have a story that'll last forever.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
one of those.
You do. Yeah, you do.
Gather around, kids. Grandpa's going to tell you about the time your grandma and I got
married and
somebody got shot. A young man got shot in the hand. Somebody was making eyes at Granny, and I said, "Oh no, ain't going to be doing it on my watch." Granny, give me my 357.
I don't think it was even the bride and groom.
I know. This poor guy's just trying to eat some cake, go home, make sweet love to my wife, carry her across the threshold, open some presents, and you sons of bitches had to bring your guns. Like the Hetfields and the McCoys up in here. Come on, man. Incubus.
Rock mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9. Call.
Hello.
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us.
Check.
We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rockmornings.com. Visit the website for all of our contact information. You can listen to the show live on that website. You can also check out our daily podcast online at rockmornings.com. Let's see. What do we got? Got a text from Carl with a K. Sent in a picture. Must be delivering down by the Oktoberfest ground. Said these bike lanes are dumb as F. Makes deliveries easy, though.
Because he can pull right in there?
If I had $1 for every car that drove down the bike lane on 2nd Street, I'd have a lot of dollars. I could probably match them up on that website and sell them. T-Stat texted in earlier, said, Brian, please tell us how you really feel about that umpire. It's making my day. Hearing you rant about him, have a good day. Yeah. I don't have to talk about him anymore.
It's probably not just you. The way it sounds, it's everybody.
Well, Grant Bills, I told you. He confirmed it.
Apparently, LASIK, the eye company, the surgery, is already making jokes about, like,
Oh, yeah.
So many wrong calls. So much time to have your corrective surgery done.
Dean also texted in earlier when I was ranting about Angel Hernandez, said amen to that. Sean says, I've seen a lot of dogs, especially small ones, that are vicious and attack, so the size isn't the issue. Having said that, I've seen the video of that officer and the dog. In no way was that dog a threat and definitely didn't deserve that at all. Look, I've seen videos of chihuahuas that attack. I get it. Dogs attack. It happens. Cats attack. There's no excuse to pull your gun and kill a 13-pound deaf and blind Shih Tzu. There's other ways, dude. You could run away, get in your car, kick the dog. I'm not advocating for kicking dog. I'm just saying that, like, killing the dog with a gun right off the bat is not the only option here. I mean, like, come on, bro.
Video of it?
Apparently. I haven't seen the video yet. I just heard the story from Shaw. I haven't had a chance to see the video. Like I said, if the guy's getting attacked by a 80-pound Rottweiler, pit bull, it's latched onto his arm, a German, super big violent dog tearing at his flesh, his face, whatever, going for his throat. Gotcha, bro. Understand. 13-pound Shih Tzu? One of those dogs? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
And it's domesticated, too. It's not like some feral wild dog
and blind
in the jungle. You know what I mean? Some kind of jungle dog. I'm sorry. And I'm very pro-police. I just think that is like...
Might have been a little bit.
That's just a bit much, bro. Also, big thanks to Selective Hearing Stu, who texted in earlier.
With his giant, can I say flagpole? Can I say that?
Oh, yeah. You can run it up his flagpole if you want.
Sounds like he did.
You got to get some trees out there, though. He's got no trees. He showed me another picture of his entire yard. Don't get me wrong, it looks nice. But you got like one tiny little tree, and it's in your neighbor's yard. Look at this thing. You got no personality in your yard other than your grass. It looks nice.
And your pole.
The new pole, yeah. You got to get a tree out there, though, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for all the correspondence. Good to hear from you guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.